whenever I think about, like, this is my first one that far back, I think about being chased by dogs.
When you think about the next global superstar in hip-hop, your mind probably goes straight to the United States, maybe Atlanta, New York, or Los Angeles. But what if the future of the genre is coming from somewhere unexpected? Not America, not even London, Nottingham. This is the story of Skaiwater, an artist quietly reshaping the sound of global hip-hop. Born Tyler Ryan Lee Jordan Brooks on August 31st, 2000, in Nottingham, England, Skaiwater did not come up through the traditional music industry. There were no major label connections or early cosigns, just curiosity and a father who introduced them to music production at a young age. Watching beats come to life sparked something that would eventually define their path. By the age of 16, that spark had turned into action. Skaiwater learned how to record music and began experimenting seriously. What started as a hobby quickly became an obsession. They spent years recording, testing sounds, making mistakes, and improving with every attempt. At 19, they made a decision that changed everything. They committed fully to music. Unlike many artists, Skaiwater never stayed in one lane. Their sound blended hip-hop, hyperpop, and experimental elements in ways that felt unpredictable but fresh. At first, that uniqueness made them easy to overlook, but on platforms like SoundCloud, they slowly built a loyal following. Because in the internet era, you do not need everyone to listen. You just need the right people. Skaiwater's early fanbase was not mainstream or viral, but it was deeply loyal, made up of listeners who understood the sound before it reached a wider audience. The first major turning point came in 2021 with the release of Happy Hour, a mixtape that began pushing their name into broader conversations. While it was not a global hit, it showed clear growth and proved they were evolving beyond experimentation. The real breakthrough came through TikTok, where their track #Miles gained momentum. What started as a simple release quickly turned into a viral trend, transforming Skaiwater from an underground artist into a rising name. As attention grew, remixes followed, and industry figures began to take notice. The biggest moment came with a remix featuring Lil Uzi Vert, which validated their sound on a global level. From that point on, Skaiwater's career did not just grow, it accelerated rapidly. But going viral is one thing. Turning that into a real career, that's where most artists fail. So how did Skaiwater go from TikTok buzz to working with global superstars, dropping major albums, and becoming one of the most talked about new-gen artists? That's where the story really begins. After that viral moment, everything changed for Skaiwater, but not in the way most people expect. Because viral fame can disappear just as quickly as it arrives, and the internet moves on fast. One week you are trending, and the next week you are forgotten. However, Skaiwater did something very different. Instead of chasing another viral hit, they focused on building a sound that could not be easily copied. They leaned deeper into their unique mix of hyperpop, rage beats, alternative hip-hop, and emotional storytelling. This decision separated them from the wave of artists who were trying to replicate whatever was trending at the time. By 2022 and into 2023, Skaiwater was no longer just an internet artist. They were becoming a fully developed creative force. Their music began to evolve both sonically and visually. The production became more refined, the songwriting became more layered, and the aesthetic became more intentional. Every release started to feel like a piece of a bigger vision rather than just a standalone track. This is also when Skaiwater began collaborating with more artists and producers who were shaping the new generation of global hip-hop. Their ability to move between styles made them incredibly versatile, which allowed them to work across different sounds without losing their identity. At the same time, their fanbase continued to grow rapidly. But what made Skaiwater's audience different was how deeply connected they were to the music. This was not just casual listening. Fans were analyzing lyrics, sharing snippets, creating edits, and pushing songs across platforms like TikTok, SoundCloud, and Spotify. This level of engagement turned Skaiwater into more than just an artist. It turned them into a cultural presence within the online music community. Then came one of the most important phases of their career: project releases that defined their artistry. Skaiwater began dropping projects that felt cohesive, experimental, and emotionally honest. These releases showcased their ability to blend vulnerability with high-energy production, creating a sound that resonated with a global audience. Their music started reaching listeners not just in the UK, but in the United States, Europe, and beyond. This was a major shift because breaking into the American hip-hop scene as a UK artist is not easy. There is often a cultural and stylistic barrier, but Skaiwater managed to bridge that gap. One of the reasons for this success was their adaptability. They understood internet culture, they understood trends, but they never allowed trends to define them. Instead, they absorbed influences and reshaped them into something original. As their popularity grew, so did their streaming numbers. Millions of streams turned into tens of millions, and eventually into hundreds of millions across platforms. Songs that once lived on SoundCloud were now being played worldwide, reaching audiences that traditional UK artists might never have reached. This global reach also opened doors for live performances and appearances. After building a strong online following, Skaiwater's transition into live performances became a crucial step in their career. Performing on stage allowed them to form deeper connections with fans and prove that their music could translate beyond the digital space into real, energetic experiences. As their presence grew, the music industry began to take notice, with blogs and critics recognizing them as part of a new wave of artists redefining hip-hop through experimentation and genre fusion. This recognition brought both opportunity and pressure, as being labeled "next up" meant increased scrutiny. However, Skaiwater moved strategically, avoiding oversaturation and maintaining a sense of mystery that kept audiences engaged. Their strong visual identity, from music videos to cover art, further elevated their brand. By 2024, Skaiwater had evolved into a global name in alternative hip-hop, proving that artists outside traditional industry hubs could break through and influence the culture on an international level. Because Skaiwater represented a new kind of artist, one who was shaped by the internet, influenced by multiple genres, and unafraid to experiment. And as their career continued to grow, so did the conversation around their place in the music industry. Were they just part of a trend, or were they building something that could last? That question would follow them as they moved into the next stage of their journey. But with success comes attention, and attention brings everything else: money, influence, pressure, and sometimes even controversy. So how much is Skaiwater actually worth in 2026? How do they make their money? What kind of lifestyle are they living behind the scenes? And has their rise been completely smooth? Or is there drama the public does not fully see? As Skaiwater's influence continued to grow, one question started popping up more and more across social media and fan discussions. How much is this artist actually making? Because in today's music industry, success is not just measured by streams or followers. It is measured by income, ownership, and how well an artist can turn attention into long-term wealth. As of 2026, Skaiwater's estimated net worth is believed to be between $1 million and $3 million US. This figure is not officially confirmed, but it is based on streaming revenue, performance fees, brand collaborations, and independent releases. Now, that might not sound like superstar-level money compared to the biggest names in hip-hop, but there is something important to understand here. Skaiwater is still early in their global career, and more importantly, they have built much of their success independently, which means they likely keep a larger percentage of their earnings compared to artists signed to major label deals. When it comes to yearly income, estimates suggest that Skaiwater earns anywhere between $200,000 and $600,000 per year, depending on release cycles, streaming performance, and live shows. A significant portion of Skaiwater's income comes from major streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, where millions of streams across their catalog generate steady revenue. However, streaming is only one part of their earnings. Live performances have become another major source of income, with rising popularity allowing Skaiwater to command higher booking fees for shows and appearances. They also attract interest from fashion and lifestyle brands due to their strong aesthetic, even though they have not heavily focused on endorsements. A key factor in their success is their independence and creative control, which allows them to shape their brand authentically. With growing visibility, criticism has followed. Some debate their genre-blending style and expressive identity, with supporters praising their originality, while critics question their unconventional approach to hip-hop. But instead of directly engaging in every piece of online discourse, Skaiwater has largely allowed the music to speak for itself. This approach has helped maintain focus on their artistry, rather than getting lost in constant back-and-forth arguments on social media. When it comes to personal life, Skaiwater remains relatively private. They do not frequently share detailed information about relationships, family dynamics, or day-to-day activities. This level of privacy is becoming increasingly rare in an era where many artists document nearly every aspect of their lives online. However, this decision also adds to their mystique. Fans are drawn to what they do not fully understand, and by keeping certain aspects of their life out of the spotlight, Skaiwater maintains a sense of intrigue that keeps people curious. At the same time, there are glimpses into their personality through interviews, lyrics, and social media posts. These glimpses reveal an artist who is introspective, creative, and highly aware of the digital culture that surrounds them. Another aspect worth mentioning is their impact beyond music. Although Skaiwater is not widely recognized for large-scale charity work, their cultural impact is still significant. By embracing individuality and experimentation, they inspire a new generation of artists to create freely without being confined by traditional industry standards. This influence goes beyond donations or headlines and plays a key role in shaping the future of modern music, with potential for more direct philanthropy as their platform grows. However, the most compelling conversation around Skaiwater centers on skill and legacy. In today's hip-hop landscape, popularity does not always equal respect, which raises the question of whether they can be considered among the best of their generation. Their artistry does not rely on traditional lyrical complexity, but instead focuses on sound design, emotion, and creativity. Their greatest strength lies in their ability to create immersive atmospheres, offering a unique musical experience that resonates deeply with listeners. When you listen to a Skaiwater track, it does not just sound like a song, it feels like a world. The production choices, the vocal layering, and the subtle shifts in energy all work together to create something immersive. This is a level of detail that many listeners might not consciously notice, but they feel it, and that feeling is what keeps people coming back. Another major skill that sets Skaiwater apart is versatility. They are not locked into one sound or one mood. They can move from aggressive, high-energy tracks into softer, more introspective music without losing their identity. This ability to shift while still sounding like themselves is one of the hardest things to achieve as an artist. It is also one of the reasons why their fan base continues to grow across different regions and cultures. Now, when it comes to the GOAT debate, things get interesting. It would be premature to place Skaiwater among the greatest artists of all time. That level of recognition requires years of consistency, multiple classic projects, and a lasting cultural impact that goes beyond trends. However, within the context of the new generation, Skaiwater is absolutely part of the conversation. They represent a shift in how hip-hop is created and consumed. They are part of a wave of artists who are not limited by geography, genre, or traditional industry rules. Instead, they are building careers through the internet, through experimentation, and through direct connection with fans. If they continue on this trajectory, maintain their creativity, and evolve with time, there is a real possibility that they could become one of the defining artists of their era. But success in music is not just about talent. It is also about how you translate that success into lifestyle, business, and long-term positioning. As Skaiwater's career has grown, so has their access to luxury. Now, unlike some artists who immediately showcase extreme wealth, Skaiwater's lifestyle appears more understated, but there are still clear signs of elevated taste and spending. When it comes to fashion, Skaiwater leans heavily into high-end streetwear and designer brands. Pieces from brands like Rick Owens, Balenciaga, and Chrome Hearts are often associated with the kind of aesthetic they embody. These are not just clothes, they are statements, often costing anywhere from several hundred to several $1,000s per item. Their style plays a major role in their identity as an artist, blending futuristic, alternative, and internet-inspired fashion into a cohesive look that resonates with their audience. In terms of watches and jewelry, there is no widely confirmed collection publicly detailed, but artists at Skaiwater's level often begin exploring luxury accessories such as custom chains, rings, and entry-level luxury watches that can range from a few thousand to tens of thousands of dollars. When it comes to cars, there is no officially confirmed list of vehicles owned by Skaiwater as of 2026. However, based on their estimated net worth and industry patterns, it is likely that any current or future car collection would fall into the entry-level luxury category. This could include vehicles such as a Mercedes-Benz C-Class, which typically ranges from around $40,000 to $60,000, or a BMW 3 Series, which sits in a similar price range. These are common choices for rising artists who are beginning to enjoy the rewards of their success without fully stepping into ultra-luxury territory. As their income grows, it would not be surprising to see upgrades into higher-end vehicles like a Lamborghini Urus or a Range Rover, both of which are popular among artists who reach the next level of financial success. Now, one of the biggest questions fans often ask is about real estate. Where does Skaiwater live, and how much is their house worth? As of now, there is no publicly confirmed information about a specific house purchase or property owned by Skaiwater. This aligns with their overall approach to privacy. However, artists in their position often begin with renting high-end apartments or studios in major cities, particularly in places like London or even Los Angeles. If they are spending time in the United States, these properties can range anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 per month, depending on location, size, and level of luxury. As their career continues to expand, investing in property could become a key part of their long-term wealth strategy, as it has been for many artists before them. Beyond lifestyle and material success, there is also the question of impact, because at the end of the day, what really matters is not just what an artist owns, but what they represent. Skaiwater represents a new era, an era where artists are not confined by geography, where someone from Nottingham can reach listeners in New York, Tokyo, and beyond without needing traditional gatekeepers. They represent creativity without limits. They represent the power of the internet as a tool for global expression. And perhaps most importantly, they represent the idea that you do not have to fit into a predefined mold to succeed. You can build your own lane. You can create your own sound. And if you do it well enough, the world will eventually catch up. So when you look at Skaiwater's journey so far, it is not just a story about music, it is a story about evolution. From a young kid, learning production from their father, to an independent artist experimenting on SoundCloud, to a viral sensation, and now to a globally recognized name in modern hip-hop. And the most interesting part, this story is still being written, because Skaiwater is not at their peak yet. They are still growing, still experimenting, and still pushing boundaries. Which means everything we have seen so far might just be the beginning. And if that is the case, then one day, when people talk about the artists who changed the sound of global hip-hop, Skaiwater's name might not just be mentioned, it might be leading the conversation.